Today I want to talk a little bit about winter sowing. If you've never tried winter sowing before or you don't know anything about it, here's your opportunity to learn. And I also want to talk about how you would care for some of these plants that you're propagating if you're going away. My kids and I are going on an 8-day trip to New York to see my family. While my husband will be home, I think it's really nice to not burden him with some of my seed starting projects. And who knows, he might have plans. A lot of these plants are a little maintenance heavy, like sweet potatoes and water. Like I talked about in my last video, you have to change the water out quite frequently. My ginger, which already is starting to show little signs of growth, which is really cool. This, you have to change the paper towel out quite often. So because we are going to be going away, I'm going to be transitioning all of this stuff over to soil. My little propagation station full of herbs that I am trying to root. Some of them have rooted, some of them have not. But even still, I can transition those into soil. And then for the winter sowing, I would like to start onion seeds. Onion seeds take 8 to 12 weeks, if not more, to get to a size, and that's just the very beginning size that you could plant them. One way I can get a jump start on that is by winter sowing. What winter sowing is a method of starting seeds where you take plastic containers. Commonly, people use milk jugs. The milk jugs, how you set them up is you cut them in half, you fill the bottom with soil, you put in your seeds, and then you really tightly tape. Most people use duct tape. I think I have blue painter's tape, so I might have to get some duct tape. In the coldest months, you would just set these outside, rain, sleet, sun, or snow. The seeds will acclimate to the cold temperatures. If you have a seed that needs cold stratification, this is a really good way to get them cold stratified. There is no hardening off process, which is really cool. And your seedlings are really hardy to the outdoors already. So it's a really nice way to start. I'm going to start the video with the winter sowing, so let's get into that now. First things first, we want a big container for our soil. I have some of the Jiffy seed starting mix. Seed starting mix comes pre-sterilized. You can go a step further and sterilize this with boiling water. Sometimes fungus gnat larvae can be present in bagged soil. The seed starting mix typically is pre-sterilized, so you might not have as much of a problem with that. But over time, when seedlings are sitting on the shelf, you're going to deal with some kind of problem anyways. If you have fruit flies in your house, they're just going to attract that. So there's other ways of dealing with it besides boiling the water. Let's make sure we have enough soil, as we'll be doing quite a bit of items in the soil today. All right, so you want to pre-moisten this. I think this is good. Let's take, oh, we might have over moistened it a little bit, but that's kind of what you're going for. You want to be able to squeeze it. See how there's water coming out of that? It may be a tad over moistened, but that's okay. Since we're gonna set up the winter sowing, that's actually not a bad thing. If you do over moisten your soil, you can just add a little bit more dry mix and just incorporate that in and get rid of that extra moisture. To set up the jugs, I have done this one already, but you want to find the handle if it's a milk jug, and you want to go like right in front of the handle and just poke a hole, and you want to try to stay as level as possible. I mean, this is not an exact science, so just do your best. And you want to just go around, whoops, hold on, to the other handle. So it opens like this. If I were to do this Gatorade bottle, how I would do that is similarly, this might take a little bit more. This one I can do with a sharp knife. And you just want to follow along. Sorry, my kids are still a wee bit sick. You would just want to follow along until, again, you get almost like a hamburger bun effect, okay? And that's where you're going to fill the soil, and then the seedlings will be able to grow up there. So I think these 3 are good for today. We're going to fill it pretty generously with soil. These seedlings are going to live in here for quite some time. You want to make sure they have enough space to put down good roots. I'm doing onion seeds, and onion seeds are a kind of seed that you can grow really close together. If you want to start onion seeds indoors, I would just get like a big wide container like this and sprinkle the seeds in the soil and put as many seeds. You can grow a lot of onion seeds in a very small amount of space. I used to, back when I was inexperienced, I used to put 1 or 2 onion seeds per I think they were 1x1 cells or 1x2 cells that I got from Bootstrap Farmer. Very, very tiny seedling cells. They were like super duper small. I spent all that time seeding those trays when I could have just done something like this. So that's about good for that one. We will start the next one. And as you prepare these, or before you prepare these milk jugs, you just want to clean them out really good. You can do a couple hot soapy water mixes, and then you can actually take a little bit of like isopropyl alcohol and water, dilute it, and then just run it through the inside. Try to let it air dry, and then if it still smells in there, give it a good rinse. But that will get out any of the milk residue and save you from any contamination. So we're gonna stop on that one as well. And then we will fill up our little Gatorade bottle. I think in the Gatorade bottle, I'm going to start celery. Celery is another seedling you can pack really close together. Now, I don't think I'm going to keep it in here forever. I don't think I'll keep it in here for the entire time, but I might, let's see, yeah, oops, that might be a little overpacked. I might just get them going once I see that there's a true leaf on the seedling. I'll pull them out, and I've done this before too, where I've overseeded celery and pulled them apart and then repotted them. Celery is another seedling or another seed that you can do that with. I do need some more soil. So for now, I think what I'm going to do is pack out some of our containers for our sweet potatoes. Now, let's see. Okay, this one, let's see if you can see that. This one already has roots. I don't know if you can see the roots. Yeah, it's got 2 little roots. But what it also has is this big rotten spot. I'm gonna carefully pull these out, and I'm going to pot this. Okay, because this has roots, it should take very well to the soil. All right. I have some sweet potatoes. These are purple sweet potatoes that I got from Whole Foods, and these have not yet sent out roots, but that's fine. I am going to transition them into a similar setup as this, which I have another video on. Basically, what we're gonna do is just fill this with soil and grow them vertically. So I have a bunch of old yogurt containers, sour cream containers, things of that nature, which I am going to put the rest of my sweet potatoes into. I got these purple sweet potatoes about a week ago, and I just didn't have time to set them up in soil. So I'm gonna do that today, and they will be just fine like this for a week without pretty much any maintenance. Oops. Let's see if I can cut it without ruining it. There we go. Well, that didn't go completely as planned, but it will, yep, it'll do the trick. So I'm just filling up this cup, and I'm gonna stick this purple sweet potato in as far as I can. There we go. I kind of cut the back of it off a little bit, but it will still do its job. I have an old Wendy's drink cup. Oops. Oh, be careful. careful when you put down your cups. You could cut them too much. All right, so we'll fill that one with soil. We're going to, let's get, see, this is why I don't like doing the toothpick method. I wanted to show on the video that I did last time kind of what happens, kind of what happens to your potato. This one has not started rooting yet, but my hopes is that when we get back from vacation, when we get back from our trip, I will have 4 new potatoes with roots on them. Let's check on these. If you do your potatoes this way and you want to check on them, you can pretty much just pull them up and see if they have any roots. Whoops, I don't see any on this yet, but I do have sprouts. I do have sprouts that have started. So, oh, look, this one has roots. Yeah, look at that. I didn't even know it was going to have them. That one has roots. Look at that. It's got 2 roots. People usually start them in large containers, not as large as this, but they will use all that soil. They will lay them out horizontally. And just to me, I feel like it takes up so much more space. I have in this little, probably, I would say like 1 by 1.5 square foot area, probably as big of a tray as I used to fit 3 potatoes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sweet potatoes. So that's why I do it this way. All right. Now, when I mean you can overseed these, I mean you can really overseed these. I think what I'm going to do is only my onion seeds, because I have I've got 3 kinds of varieties of onion seeds that I want to start. And because we're going on vacation, I really want to get them started now. Yellow sweet Spanish and sweet yellow Spanish Utah jumbo. I'm going to start these in the same winter sowing tray. There is a caveat though. These are 2021 seeds. These might not germinate. So, and I don't really have that many of them in here. And I am just like very, very heavily going to seed one little corner. So this is the sweet Spanish yellow Utah jumbo by Fairy Moors. Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, Frank, you're gonna take them out? Okay, and like I said, I'm actually going to start the entire packet in here. That is 720 grams of seeds. And while that might seem a little crazy, what I'm going to do is when they do get a certain height, I will probably take them out if they look too crowded, but I think we'll be just fine. People really overseed their onions. So the second one with, these are Texas Grano 502. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about, hey buddy, hi. One thing I forgot to mention about the sweet Spanish yellow Utah is this is, I believe, an intermediate day onion. Okay, so the Texas Grano is a short day onion. One thing about growing onions from seeds, or growing onions at all, is that you have to know, if you are in the northern half of the country, typically you have to grow long day onions. If you are in the middle of the country, like we are in Tennessee, middle to south grows intermediate to short day onions. I believe you can try intermediate day onions in the north, but typically when I lived up north, I grew long day onions. All right, back to the Texas Grano. These are, so this is about half the amount that was in that packet. So I may open 2. I may live a little dangerously and open 2. Let's see if we can do this one-handed with a baby. And just sprinkle them in. Yep, I'm gonna open a second seed packet. This one I'm not going to do all of them, but I'll do most of them. Up. I find it's better to have more onion seedlings than less. I have had onion seedlings fail on me a bunch of times after planting, so if you can have a second batch ready to go, it would be a good thing. Now that we have our onion seedlings in, I'm going to press them into the soil. I'll probably have some seeds cross over from sticking to my hand. Then we're gonna take this soil and just try to cover them up a little bit. You don't have to go too crazy, but just give them a little bit of cover so that when they germinate, they are securely in the soil. Okay. One thing to note about the Texas grano, these are 170 days to harvest. So I absolutely probably should have started these a couple weeks ago, versus the sweet Spanish yellow jumbo Utah are 115 to 120. Where I live in East Tennessee, we have about 189 frost-free days. All right, and the last winter sowing project I'm going to try today is some celery seeds. I have grown celery, let's see, for 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 seasons now. I've grown celery. I really love growing celery. I have some older seed here, which is Utah Tall. I got these years ago, but they seem to work even last year. So again, I'm gonna overseed these probably by a lot. If I notice the seedlings are suffering in here, I will just take them out and repot them. This is a little hard to do because of the Gatorade bottle. Whoopsies. All right, that's a lot of seeds. That's actually a lot of seeds, but it's okay. These I'm going to press in and also cover them up just a little bit. Little tiny seeds like celery, you can just surface sow. Surface sowing is just when you sprinkle them on top and press them in. Now we're going to tape everything up. When you have labeled and seeded your winter sowing jugs, you just want to try your best to get them closed. It can be a little tricky. It's an art I wouldn't say that I have mastered. Like I said, this is blue painter's tape. It's not the best for this, but we're just gonna get them closed good enough for now. So that is pretty much it. It really is this simple. The learning curve with winter sowing comes when the temperatures start to warm up. With winter sowing, you're going to start out, if it's really cold, and your days are still like below 40, you're gonna wanna leave the cap on. So I have all my jugs taped up now. So we have celery in here, we have the Texas grano in there, and then the Utah jumbo in there. What you do with winter sowing jugs, like I mentioned earlier, is you basically just put them outside. If your temperatures are below 40 during the day still, mostly, like an average. If they're averaging below 40 and your nights are like in the teens and all that, you wanna leave this all sealed up. If you're starting to get temperatures in like the 60s and your evenings are still dipping down into the freezing temperatures, maybe you just want to take the cap off during the day. I know that's kind of a pain in the tush. You could just poke a few little vent holes in here, but really until they germinate, they're fine just like this. Onion seeds notoriously take a long time to germinate anyway, so I should be fine by the time we get back. And celery seeds are exactly the same. I'm a mom, like I can't do these videos without my kids around. And for celery, just like onion seeds, they take a notoriously long time to germinate as well. So I should be fine. Our temperatures they're all over the place. We live in Tennessee. You can go through all 4 seasons in the same day. So winter sowing's a little challenging around here, but I'm gonna utilize this technique to try to get a jump start on these seedlings. I'm a very messy worker. If you see the chaos. This is seed starting though. I mean, I don't know how you guys seed start. but my seed starting typically ends up being very messy like this. This one, hey buddy, hold on bud. This one has roots already, and we're gonna stick that one in there and just cover her up as much as we can. Hi boo-boo. So that is one of the sage cuttings that I took. Okay, so let's get another. Let's get the other sage cutting that also has a lot of roots. These might be a little small, but sage actually can go out soon. I'm not going to stick them out until we get back. I'd like to do the rooted ones first. I may give some of these a little bit longer. You can start them directly in soil. You just want to make sure the soil is really, really moist. Oh, yep, we have another one. Hey, look at that. So one of the smaller rosemaries that I didn't think was going to take, actually, let's see if we can get it on camera, actually has little roots. It had some water on it. See those? Cool, right? Got that one potted up too. Got a lot of potting up to do today, but it's good. What this will allow me to do is have a little more freedom a little more freedom and not have to ask my husband for extra help that he might not want to do. So the gardening thing's my thing. You know, he makes the money, I plant the plants. I'm not going to give the rest of these individual cups because they don't have roots yet, but that will be just fine. It'll just keep them moist until, let me see if I can do 1, 2, hold on, we'll just stick them down in there. 1, 2, 3, that's good. And then, oh, we have another one, hold on, 3 and 4, stick that one down low. And then the sages, I think I will also confine to 1 cup. What I'm going to do with these that do not have the roots, the reason I kind of jam these all in the same cup is so I remember that those have roots and then these don't. And lastly, for my ginger, I just took my ginger out of the container, washed it really well, and just like everything else, I'm not putting any holes in it because I want it to retain the moisture while we're gone and just let them naturally dry out. This just has soil in it, and I'm going to take the ginger and pop them in. I'm kind of going to nestle them in a little bit, and I don't know if you can see that growing tip? If you can see that growing tip right on the edge there, some of the ginger is starting to show signs of activity. This one's doing really well. If you can see that one. That was not even a nub. That one didn't even have any sort of nub. And now it's showing signs of getting from its growing node lengthening. Oh, this one has some really good ones. You can see that. See those 2 white pieces? That's what you're going to see at the very beginning of ginger sprouting. This one has several, but they're so tiny. They're like little spikes, if you can see, little spikes coming out. I didn't save enough room for that guy. Hey buddy, hold on. And that one doesn't have any so far. Okay, that is basically it. What I may do with this is cover the top with like saran wrap, just tape it on or something, just to give it some more humidity. It won't dry out as fast because there will be some condensation from the plant matter, from the soil, and then from it absorbing and creating a little bit of warmth in there. This is pretty much it. I think I got everything done that I wanted to get done today. No. We potted up all of our plants. I think that's a pretty good start to seed starting season. I'm excited to go see my family this week. And I will be really excited when we get back to really get going with the rest of our seed starting projects. Okay, and for storage of our little seedlings, I'm going to store them outside. So with winter sowing seedlings or winter sowing containers, you don't have to water them. If you can see the condensation that's forming around the top, all you have to do is like tap that down and they self-water. You can see all that moisture down there. So they self-water. When it does get a little bit nicer out, you do take the lids off. You do take these off. And you can kind of, I don't know if you can see down in there. Yeah, so you can take a peek at what's going on down there. I may add a little bit of water to these before we leave, but basically what I'm doing is sticking these in my old beat up garden containers, just so the wind doesn't take them away. I don't know what the weather is going to be like when we leave, but this is hopefully going to be a safe spot for them. This is just the remnants of carrots and what is that? Chamomile. While it doesn't look like much, this is the beginnings of my big garden. I will be digging this myself until further notice. I would like to finish the end of that before we leave in 2 days, but I don't think that's going to happen. And to my knowledge, from the plan that I have so far, this is going to be potato row. I have 2 bags of seed potato in my cabinets waiting for us to come back. This is my little garden guard. This is the little froggy I found in the tree line over there, and I kind of dug him up and dusted him off, and maybe we'll repaint him because I was like, what a little cute garden gnome that is. I'm planting 4 more of these rows, so they're about 25 feet long, 4 feet wide, and they're gonna go down that way. Yeah, this is our little slice of heaven. You want to say bye? Okay, say see you next time. Bye. Bye. Say see you next time.